bitter truth that we also need to tell ourselves as Nigerians. We are all Nigerians. A few people are only privileged to sit on the high table here. We are on the same level. We must be able to talk the truth to ourselves. We don't have the culture of consumption management in this country in terms of power, just because of the cheapness of the tariff we pay in power. A lot of people will come back from work. They want to have dinner, or they want to play with their colleagues down the road. They switch on the AC for the room to be cooling before they come back. Yes, some people will be going to work in the morning. A freezer has been left on for days. They will still leave it on when all the items in the freezer are already frozen. And 5, 6, 8 hours of their absence will not be able to give.
I only want to ask a very important and sincere question, and I want you to answer this question for me. At what point will Nigerians say enough is enough to all the anti-people policies that is being dished out by Bola Tinubu government? At what point will Nigerians decide to take their own destiny in their own hands and put an end to all of this? It's obvious that this Bola Tinubu government is not here to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians that were perpetrated by the past APC-led government of President Muhammadu Buhari. From removal of petrol subsidy since his inauguration, to inflation, insecurity, and now 240 electricity tariff hike. Come on. Can't Nigerians breathe again in their country? Since coming to power, we have experienced the worst power supply. Power supply is non-existent, and the minister is here blaming Nigerians for wasting electricity. The reason why Nigerians leave their fridge and other appliances on is because they are not sure of power supply. They go to work and they have to leave their fridge on in case there is light. What they have in their fridge could be frozen. But here is the minister blaming them for that. This is disheartening. Well, we're going to look at this critically because a lot of Nigerians are complaining. This 240% increment is terrible. It's really, really, really terrible. And I hope something is done about it. Now, let us listen to it very well. Following the 240% electricity tariff hike for Band A customers by the federal government, households are now bracing up for tougher times, thereby calling for a policy reversal. Recall that the NEC had on Wednesday announced the approval of an increase in the electricity tariff of Band A customers from about 66 naira to 225 per kilowatt for hour for the various distribution companies discussed in the country. This represents an increase of 240%. Vice Chairman NERC Musle Hussaini, while making the announcement, had also emphasized that the increase in tariff will only affect customers enjoying 20-hour power supply and above across the country. This is just as the Minister of Power, Dr. Adebayo Adelabu, said yesterday that the federal government expected to spend about 2.9 trillion on electricity subsidy in 2024. He said the government is still subsidizing 85% of electricity supply in the country despite increase in tariff for Band A customers. He said the government remains pro-poor in its power policy because it is subsidizing nothing less than 67% of the cost of producing, transmitting, and distributing electricity in Nigeria. He said the government is not ready to aggravate the suffering by refusing to adopt 100% withdrawal of subsidy on electricity. Adelabu spoke at the 4th ministerial briefing in Abuja with the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris. And I must tell you that as of today, before the introduction of the tariff increasement, government is subsidizing nothing less than 67% of the cost of producing, transmitting, and distributing electricity in Nigeria. At the current exchange rate, this is going to translate into 2.9 trillion for 2024. This is more than 10% of the national budget. Power sector is just a single sector out so many sectors that government has to attend to. We have the works, we have housing, we have education, we have health, we have defense, and so on and so forth that are all competing for this merged revenue from the government. So it will be very insensitive on our part to compel government to continue to subsidize at the rate of almost 3 trillion for the power sector alone. We just have to be realistic and considerate. This is the power minister speaking. But well, let's continue. Interesting times ahead. Adelabu insisted that only 15% customers were affected by the increase in tariff for those in Band A category. He He said the tariff review has favored about 85% of the electricity consumers in the country. Now listen, this is what he's saying. Electricity is no longer cheap for Band A, but this policy is pro-poor. It is pro-poor. The high-end people, they are the ones that are enjoying the subsidy more than others because they consume more. This is because what they are enjoying is more than what the poor are enjoying. We are saying no. Let them pay the right price and let the poor breathe too. I don't know if you understand what is going on. Electricity has been increased to 240, but they are using reverse psychology on Nigerians, telling Nigerians that it is only Band A customers that are experiencing it. I hope you are seeing what is happening on social media. You are seeing even people who are not enjoying 10 hours power supply, they are complaining that their electricity has been increased. But let's go further. Adelapu said although the subsidized pricing regime was in transition to a full cost reflective tariff, the government will continue to protect the poor. I wonder if the poor are being protected in Nigeria. Commenting on the tariff increase, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, Dr. Madu Yusuf, said the quantum of the increase is on the high side and could be very burdensome to the citizens who fall into the Band A categorization. This categorization is not a question of choice, unfortunately, said Yusuf. It has been noted that the power sector issue has become a major conundrum in the economy as there is a major funding and liquidity crisis which is posing significant risks to investments in the electricity value chain. The term Band A is just to confuse Nigerians. Now listen, many households and businesses are already lamenting the impact of the huge increase in electricity for Band A customers, which become effective on Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. For instance, Mrs. Edith Olege is a fashion designer with 5 children and 2 in the university. Olege is using proceeds from the business to support her husband to take care of the house in the face of excruciating economic condition exacerbated by the removal of petrol subsidy, escalating cost of living pushed by the exchange rate in an upward movement. When she heard about the tariff increment, it was like an end to her business had come. She has prayed that God will intervene because her area of residence was categorized into the Band A. Now, the problem is that even these people that are being categorized into Band A, they are not experiencing this light. They are not seeing 20 hours power supply a day. She's using part of her apartment as her shop due to the cost of renting a business outlet. She said that the current bill, if not reversed, will deal a blow to her business and call for a reversal to enable her sustain herself and her family. Another Nigerian, Chukwuma Uzoma, runs an eatery and drinking bar in a small village in Maryland. He relies on sustainable and affordable electricity to chill his drinks to be able to attract patronage. He said, with a new tariff hike, he would rather contemplate shutting down, but wonder what will befall his family. A consumer, Sivanus Okbara, stated that for businesses, especially small and medium enterprise, an increase in electricity tariff will lead to higher operational costs, coupled with the fact that so many things are on the high side right now. This will have an adverse impact on their businesses' competitiveness and profitability, potentially leading to job cut or reduced expansion opportunities. He urged the government to ensure that vulnerable populations are not disproportionately affected, even as he felt it is disheartening that government policies are done in a rush manner. Speaking also, a project manager, Adeni Julius, noted that the increment will affect low-income families who found themselves in the category of those that will be affected as they are already financially strained. According to him, low-income families may find it challenging to cope with higher electricity bills. This could lead to decreased usage of electrical appliances, affecting their quality of life and productivity. He, however, said the social and political implications cannot be ruled out as Nigerians are going through a lot. Electricity is a basic necessity, and any perceived unfairness in tariff increases can lead to public discontent and protest, he stressed. Similarly, a resident of Bagada, Lagos, Blessing Oladipo, said she was not in support of the increase in the electricity tariff. She queried, is it the light that is almost non-existent they are increasing the amount per kilowatt? Or which one? Because she does not know what else to say. I don't even know what they are trying to do. For hours and days, we could not see a blink of light. We use prepaid meters. Since the beginning of February, we have hardly seen light. Phones and other appliances will be off for hours without a proper source. I don't know if I may ask others if their story is different. The story is not different. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not different, okay? So there's no need for you to ask others. Because for her, that has been her experience. And she did not buy into it. Also in Ogun State, resident Ola Michael said increasing the electricity tariff is not a prudent decision at present. it will place undue strain on the populace given the current state of the economy. Furthermore, the inadequate lightning situation is unlikely to encourage compliance with any proposed price hike, he said.